Hi everyone, welcome to the platform. Welcome, Vanessa Mariano here. I wanted to bring in a topic. I was watching actually a podcast and I decided, because I need to be out the door within a few hours, I thought I'm just going to come online and bring a topic on what is the lie that you've been believing your whole life, because we have many lies that we've been believing, and one way to kind of like get a clear glimpse of it is just by looking at your surrounding and seeing things that you truly like if you're in tune at that level, things that you do like and the things that you don't like. So whenever you are, whatever you see that you are not liking, we need to, this is a hard reality to accept, is actually something that we've constructed it with our own thoughts and with our own belief system. Okay, so whatever we are carrying from what's been constructed in our psyche and in our thought patterns ever since we were little, from our womb, from our past lives, from what's, from our generational line. So do say hi when you come on. This is an interesting topic because I find that I'm actually going through uncovering lies in my own life. So just sharing a bit of vulnerability here. And also I'm seeing that with, friends and people that I'm supporting in my life in this time. So where do I want to start? There's so much that I want to say, but I will keep the video short. I just want to make sure that I don't overflood your mind, and I just leave you with a few pointers that are really important that you can keep with you. Excuse me. So, wow. Okay, so the power in when you start to do the inner work, when you start working on yourself, you become your own investigator. So I say this all the time, like I literally see myself like an FBI of my own energetic channels and my own energy system, because you see, so there's people that are going to be coming on, they're probably into these talks. There's people that are not, that are still on my page. So you don't have to follow the video if it doesn't resonate with you. But I do want to bring it forward, and I decided it purposefully to have it on my business page rather than my group, because I wanted to reach more people. So basically, I'm going to keep it short. So if you understand the energetics of the body, if you understand that there's internal hygiene that we need to keep up to, that we need to have responsibility, take responsibility for, then you will know that everything that every decision that we make in every instance is actually going to have an impact, and it's going to influence the way that we are feeling and the way that we are living our life, right? And what we think. Just what we think of the life that we're living. So if we want to take control, a really good way is to understand that there is a life beyond the physical. There's a life and there's choices to be made that go beyond the physical, which is the metaphysical side of the world, which is not seen by the eye, but it's perceived by the third eye, and it's perceived through this internal knowing, this internal voice. Now, I've devoted most of my life, all of my life actually, in developing this inner knowing, this inner voice. First of all, just to share something a little bit about my story briefly. So when I was a little girl, I was very shy. So that was a time in my life that I really developed that inner voice and that internal world that nobody knew about. And I share about that in the book that is going to be coming out soon. So, I think, we all have this ability of connecting with our inner knowing, especially when you see children. They literally vibrate from this energy, from innocence, from inner knowing. And then with the conditioning, and I call it like the black power spell of, or the black spell of power, like the destructive force that's been manipulated right on earth. What happens is that really kind of interferes with truth, and it interferes with the perception of like light and love. So we've got the power actually to tap into the the energy to tap into our own consciousness, which is the only way that we can have access to that frequency, which is a frequency of love and the frequency of energy. Now, as we tap into that energy, then we are able to uncover and see what the truth is, right? So what the truth is, and what the lies are. And a lot of people don't like to hear the truth, and that's why they rebel against it. They shut you down because they don't want to hear it. They've been taught something different. They've been manipulated into believing things, into being a certain way. But it's not until you start to do the work with your emotional well-being, with your spiritual, and with your energy this energy work, that you start to uncover what the truth really is. And I shared a mantra with a lady that I've known. She's a good friend. We haven't seen each other for so many years, but I shared a mantra with her that I'm working on myself. And this mantra is actually a mantra. It's the crown chakra and it's the heart chakra mantra. And I also did like the third eye. I haven't shared the third eye mantra with her. Only the two, the heart and the crown, because I felt this is where I've been at, and I perceived that that's where she was at as well. So she shared with me her recent experience. She wanted me to share first what it was like for me, but I preferred her to not be influenced by what I experienced. I wanted her to have like true raw connection with her own experience. So she shared it with me. And so what happens is that when you reveal, and it was confirmed by her, so when you are connecting to this consciousness, conscious energy, which you can do by raising your frequency, and I teach a lot of that in my tool. I've got lots of tools that I can teach and share with you. What happens is that you actually start to, it's kind of like you start to see, so the light comes, you start to see the light through the tunnel. And what happens is that you start to become a witness, your spirit becomes a witness to to lies that we've been told, that we've believed, that we've been made to believe, things that have been done in a certain way, and that we subconsciously like just kind of learned, picked up, believed because it was just there, because there was just no other option, there was no other way. We didn't really have any other role models. So what happens is in this process, you start to witness the lies, which means that you will experience a lot of gunk, actually, like a lot of iffy, like icky kind of feelings and thoughts and things that are going to be surfacing, and you're going to be wanting to rationalize everything. So the idea is to in this process this is going to be the process is of identifying, the voice of the head of the lies, and then identifying and really connecting, because by identifying it, you're actually connecting with the voice of the heart and the spirit and the soul, right? So that's the idea. The idea and the work that what you will learn, what you will experience with me is this transformation, because you will let go, or you will be revealed, the lies will be revealed to you, and the truth will actually start to come through. And it does require work, and you do need to be, it's not a matter of just getting onto the phone and having a conversation with somebody, with your mentor, with a friend. It's actually about doing the inner work, because that's mindset work. That's where, and this is something they told me when I did my yoga, when I was studying philosophy of yoga a few years back in Bali. So yoga is one form of therapy, but it's not the ultimate therapy. It's not yoga or meditation. Like, that helps the channels to open. It helps to open you up into to connect with a universal energy. But then there's another level of work that has to be done with that, and that's the mindset work. Actually, recognizing those voices and addressing them, and actually building a dialogue with those voices. And as you build a dialogue with those voices, every time it does come up, you know how to address it. You know what it is. You see it for what it is, for the lie that it is, and then you are then able to rewrite the script, to rewrite the truth about it. Like, as I've been on this journey, and even now it happens, there was a major awakening on this. I think I did a video on this months ago. I really heard my father's voice when I was talking to myself, and I was absolutely shocked, and I just felt, I felt terrible, and I felt like I started crying, and I realized that I'd adopted the same kind of language that he used to use, and that made me feel really small. And what made me so scared and insecure and feeling so incapable, right? And that's why I had a career young in age, but I was too afraid to share it with anybody, or to I never really showed off about it. Not that you're meant to show off about it, but I never really owned it, So that was the first encounter of really witnessing my inner critic. And recently, because more is coming up, and I share this with you because I wanted to ask you, what is the lie that you've been believing? The lies will be revealing themselves to you as you bring conscious awareness to it. So I was in my pole dance class, and I said something about I can't do this way, and just that can't, that cutthroat kind of closing, sentence. I'm like, I saw it, and you may even see yourself as you recognize the voice. You may even see yourself using that language. But then it's important. Like what I do is I kind of take a deep breath, and then I, rewrite it and say, I'm able to do this. It's just a matter of focusing into the movement, or engaging your lower back, or your skate, something like that. Or struggle, when you say to yourself, I struggle with this. This is something that I noticed that came up in my belly dancing class. I struggle with and a particular technique, which is quite, it's a challenging, it has been challenging until now. But I'm just using, little examples. But it's like how frequent they come up. And I saw myself, it's like, it's not a matter of, it's not a struggle, because when you're saying it's a struggle, you're literally like setting a limit for yourself. It's just a process. So there's a process. And, you can be, when you want to learn something, you just have to have the determination, and you've got to have the devotion. So, to really embody that movement, to really embody that change, or that, that movement. And that requires a number of muscles that you need to engage. It requires a certain mindset before you actually start to jump into that movement. And it requires a level of breath as well, like of deep breath. So, so generally you need to be embracing the thought that something is possible and that it's actually happening, in order for your body to respond to it. Now, what's happening if you are using a sentence that is very negative, what happens is that your body is actually like constrictive, and it's responding according to the lie that you're saying to yourself. Okay, so I just wanted to bring this on. I don't know who's going to be coming on. This is quite improvised, like all of my lives are. I wanted to share this message. I know that there's people from all walks of life in this video. I don't need that stop me from coming online whenever I need to share something, a discovery or something that I notice that has actually benefited, a friend or somebody that I'm supporting in this time. So what is your lie? I just wanted to ask you if you can bring awareness to the dialogue that you use with yourself when it comes to doing something. It could come up as a feeling of like discomfort, and then you notice like there's a negative thought that comes after that. Whatever it is, however it does come out, I would suggest for you to just kind of like write it down in pencil, and then with another colored pen, just rewrite the script, and like write the truth about that, what you are embodying in that moment. So every time if it does tend to come up, then you can see it, and then you can remind yourself mentally and physically about the truth and about moving forward. So yeah, I think that's what I wanted to share. I've got work to do, and then I've got training later on. So before I get off, I wanted to share that the book is still being edited. It's still in the process. So the great thing is that I've managed to sketch the codes that I needed to include in every chapter, which is fabulous, and you will know more about this. But it's all like, they're all custom made, so they are my signature designs. And yeah, so there's going to be a process of rebranding as the book does come out. So I'll be focusing more on certain topics. At the moment, it's a bit free flow, but it's always based on self-development and like, really awakening to your consciousness and embodying. It's like the process of embodying transformation of what you are learning. So if you have anything that you would like for me to share, I would just suggest for you to just PM me right in my private message. This platform has been very much about educating, very much about sharing to people about my own personal growth, about my experience with my self-development, and with healing, mindset and physical and the physical part and the spiritual part of myself as well. So anything that I can do and share in order to somehow be a pillar or guidance for you, then I'm all in for that. Okay, So my job every day is to make sure that I'm responsible, taking responsibility to take care of my temple, which is my body and my internal hygiene. So it's, choosing, making the right decisions when it comes to, when communicating with others, when it comes to choosing the right foods, when it comes to choosing the people that I'm surrounding myself with, and also when it comes to knowing how much energy to put into certain things. So that with that comes having a lot of clarity, which we can lack sometimes, especially when we're going around in spirals. So, but you can gain clarity, and we need to be okay. I've had to learn that it needs to be, I have to be okay with unknowing, because a lot of things are actually revealed to us in the process of unfolding, right? As we are unfolding our purpose in our life. So really just being conscious of that, and understanding that these cycles, these cycles of learnings and understanding. So to not crucify ourselves, and to be open to the process. So the responsibility that I've learned and that I've reinvented all the time is really taking responsibility for my health. So, how I look after my physical body, how I look after my mental hygiene, and my emotional and spiritual hygiene. So I've developed, and it's taken me, a long time. It's taken me years to get to where I am now, and I'm still kind of tweaking things. But ideally is for me to have a lifestyle that I can, have and apply wherever I go in the world, right? And I want the same for you. I want the same for you, so that you have this level of confidence where you are not going to be influenced, for the choices that you make in your daily life, because whatever you ingest is what you're going to be emanating. So if you're not treating your temple and your body with love and respect, then how are you really showing up for your purpose? How are you really confronting, like how are you living your life in purpose, right? So we need to have energy for that. We need to have energy. We need to have strength. We need to have patience. We need to have love and compassion. We need to have our tank needs to be filled. Our glass, we need to be fueled in order to be able to perform, to show up, and to stand up for others. But we need to stand up for ourselves first, right? So identifying our lies is what's going to help us to generate more energy, and to release the energy and the cords and the chains that are actually like keeping us stuck, stagnant, or and I don't like to use those words, because I believe that we are energy, and that we flow, and living, and being in grace all the time. But it's the mind that kind of keeps you in those boxes. So identifying your lies, and just designing the reality, and the person that you are wanting to become. So I'm just going to leave you with that, and I hope to get on and to connect with you again soon.